Hi, this is Laura. I'm the CEO of VMV Hypoallergenics. We're here to save the world's skin with the safest, most proven effective care on the planet. Today I will be doing another skin installment of Allergen-Not An Allergen. And this is a really popular campaign and contest that we do every April. And if you go to our blog, vmvinskin.com, you'll see loads and loads of years worth of allergen or not an allergen blog posts to help you better manage your contact dermatitis, atopic dermatitis or eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, even your acne and melasma. So definitely check that out. Also, please don't forget to like us on Facebook, to follow us on Instagram, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we're getting really cool content, I think, up every week. And also don't forget to catch our weekly live streams where we talk to a resource expert and really dive deep into skin issues and ingredients and things like that. Basically, you get to ask your questions live too and get them answered right away, which is pretty awesome. When we talk about allergens, a quick reminder, we're talking about contact allergens here. So these are things that come into contact with your skin and tend to cause an allergic reaction. We're not talking about allergens like dander or pollen or bee stings or most foods. That allergic reaction tends to be a type 1 reaction. It involves a whole different modality. Different cells are involved. For example, they're IgE-mediated. Antibodies are involved. For skin allergies, for contact dermatitis, allergic contact dermatitis, what tends to be involved are T cells, not antibodies, not IgE mediated. And it works completely differently, to the point that if you prick test positive for something, unless you also patch test positive for it, the chances are that you can actually still use it on your skin or come into contact with it. What we use as our references, at a minimum, we use the published reports of specializing groups in contact dermatitis, like the North American Contact Dermatitis Group or European Surveillance System on Contact Allergens. These doctors conduct lots and lots and lots of patch tests, thousands of them, and then they collate and examine which are the substances that tend to cause the most allergic reactions. And then they publish those findings as the top contact allergens. On a final note there, just because something is a top contact allergen does not mean you can't use it. Go by your own patch test result to really know what you can use and cannot. So for example, for something like this, if you have patch tested positive to rubber, then yeah, this really wouldn't be the best thing to be handling. But if you patch tested positive to vitamin E, then yeah, using something like this may not be a problem at all, even though it is made up of top contact allergens. The second thing to remember is when we do allergen or not an allergen, we will often do a specific ingredient or substance that you will tend to see on a patch test tray, like nickel or lanolin, for example, or actually our topic for today. But we will also sometimes do things that you would never see on a patch test tray, like this, like a camera case holder. The reason for this is because we come into contact with these things on a regular basis, but because it's not on our patch test tray, it's kind of hard to know whether or not you can touch it, you can use it. So for something like this, for example, we would break it down and we would discuss the different things that go into something like this. And we would say immediately, I could tell you top contact allergen for sure, because it's rubber, right? It's either rubber or rubberized plastic, and it's very dark colored, so there would be dyes there as well. This has some give, but not much, so there might be some concern with the elastic, but the color is actually pretty good. So yeah. So today we will be talking about AMIDO-AMINES, which are surfactants that you tend to see in a lot of soaps and cleansers and shampoos because it makes it bubbly and it also helps clean. So I'm not going to show the brand. I'll just, this I know has AMIDO-AMINES. So cocamide-depropyl betaine, cocamide-dea, OleAMIDOpropyl cocamide-dimethylamine. Would you say amido-amine surfactants are allergens or not an allergen? If you guessed allergen, very, very, very much so. So here's some of the interesting things about amido-amines. One of the bigger myths that is out there is that because these allergens, many of them are known as, or many of them are cocamide-dopropyl betaine, cocamide-dea. The assumption is that it is the coca part that is the problem because these surfactants start off as being extracted from coconut oil. It is not. In fact, one of the other ones I mentioned, OleAMIDO-propyl dimethylamine, is not derived from coconut. It is not the fatty acids from the oils. In fact, very rarely are those problematic. It is the addition of chemicals called amido-amines. That is the issue. Amido-amines is part of the processing. It helps convert those fatty acids into what the ingredient needs to be, which is to be bubbly and to help clean. What is really interesting too is that a lot of products that market themselves as safer will say, for example, sulfate-free, surfactant-free, SLS-Free, SLES-Free. But if you look at the ingredients list, they have an amido-amine as the replacement surfactant. This is interesting for a few reasons. In cases like that, the SLS, the SLES are actually not top contact allergens. They're irritants. But a lot of things can be irritants over time. So there's a real difference between an allergic reaction and an irritant reaction. Things that are irritants, even if you've reacted to them before, you might not react to them again if you're only using a little bit of them or just for a short amount of time. Whereas if you have developed an allergy to something, anytime you use it after that, no matter how small, infrequent, whatever, you will react, right? So an irritant, water can be an irritant. If you are exposed to water for such a long time, it can be an irritant. Alcohol and disinfecting is also not an allergen, it is an irritant. SLS, SLES are irritants. They're not allergens, which means they can be irritating if you use a lot of the ingredient in a formulation or you're constantly exposed to it, right? But they're not top contact allergens. So when you're looking at a product that says SLS-free, SLES-free, sulfate-free, make sure to check that there's not an amido-amine ingredient in there because that is actually the top contact allergen, whereas SLS and SLES are not. SLS, SLES are also derived from the coconut, and there are wonderful studies on them actually dating back to the 1970s or so that show them as excellent antimicrobials, like so many other coconut derivatives, monolaurin, virgin coconut oil, etc. So yeah, it's not the coca part, it is the amido-amine part that is problematic. That is the top contact allergen. So if you are looking for, if you have patch tested positive to amido-amines or individual amido-amines, avoid them in your shampoo, soap, cleanser, mostly cleansing stuff. We do have a lovely blog post on this on vmvinskin.com, specifically on amido-amines, and then we have another blog post specifically on SLS and SLES that you might find really, really helpful. A quick reminder on who we are. VMV Hypoallergenics is the safest, most proven effective care on the planet. Safest we do with a proprietary VH rating system, the Validated Hypoallergenic Rating System, which is like a grade, like an SPF. It's a very quick way to see on a product if allergens are present. So basically, our safety for us is the omission, removal of as many as possible of all top contact allergens as determined by independent patch tests and published internationally. The VH rating system has proven so effective that a clinical study on it published in a peer-reviewed contact dermatitis journal, one of the top ones, showed less than 0.1% reactions in over 30 years. So really safe. In terms of efficacy, We do that with clinical studies. We're big believers in evidence-based, randomized, double-blind clinical studies, as well as other clinical studies. And it's a really big deal to get one study published in a peer-reviewed journal. Thanks to my mother, who is our founding dermatopathologist who has hundreds herself, we have over 75, 80 published in peer-reviewed journals. So we take safety and efficacy very, very seriously. If you would like to shop any of our validated hypoallergenic products, the majority of which contain our clinically published organic, first cold-pressed virgin coconut oil and monolaurin, you can do so at vmvhypoallergenics.com internationally and vmvhypoallergenics.ph. And check out our blog too, vmvinskin.com, for some really great skintel and helpful information. That is our Allergen Not An Allergen on AMIDO-AMINES. I hope you found that helpful. Ask us any questions. We love getting questions and doing our best to answer them well, you know, with proper research and interviews with really legitimate resource experts. And certainly if you think this might be helpful to someone, share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to catch our weekly live streams. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the notification bell, like us on Instagram, and follow us on Facebook. I'll see you with more Skintelligence next time. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and have a skintastic day.